Hi, I'm Kelly,
I'm Allison.
I'm Leah.
And I'm Kristen.
and this is Fear and Wine. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Fear and Wine, and welcome back for us, too, because we took a little break for about 3 weeks just to vacations and personal life stuff, but we are back, and we are covering one of the newer movies. I don't know, maybe we should start covering stuff sooner, but I try to let people be able to see it for a little bit.
Yeah.
We're out actually exactly a month from when it came out pretty much,
Oh,
and
really?
we're gonna
Okay.
cover Weapons today.
Yeah.
I'm
Ooh,
excited.
Me too.
I know, I really love this
Me
movie.
too.
I think Kristen really liked
Me
it
too.
too. Before we start, it was kind of a long movie, so we will get started, but before we start, we've all seen the Unknown Number documentary except for Leah, and I begged her to watch
No,
it. Did you watch it
I
yet?
watched it last night,
You did? Oh, yes.
but
Yay.
I watched it in fast forward.
Fast forward. Fast forward. I knew it. I was going to tell you this might be the perfect thing for you to fast
No,
forward
it really
because,
was.
you know,
It was
Yeah.
because
yeah.
I've seen so much on social media. I've seen like all of the text messages. I already knew the ending, so I wasn't shocked or really surprised by that.
Wow.
But I did want to kind of see the story fleshed out a little bit. So I decided, yeah, I'll watch it. However, at the very, very end, I got bored and I turned it off like maybe 15 minutes before the very end because I was like, well,
I'm trying
now
to
I
remember.
know who it was.
Yeah, just
I
tell me
love
you
that.
went back to regular speed when the dad came on the screen because he is the hero
You
of
mean
Yeah.
that
the main
show.
girl's dad?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
liked him. I liked
I
how
loved him.
yeah, I won't give it away in case anybody
Are
who's
you I
listening
think the
hasn't seen it.
world's seen it
I think
now.
you
Really?
can give it
can
away.
talk
Yeah,
Am
about
I
I
it,
the
think
yeah.
so.
last
Everyone's
one?
talking about it.
I feel like you were the last one,
I
at
probably
least.
was.
Yeah.
But, I feel like when that story came out, I feel like it was on the
I don't remember
news,
it.
and I think I
You
remember
remember it?
hearing about it, so I
I
I
wasn't
did
had no
not.
mad.
idea
Yeah,
what
I
was
don't
going to happen,
remember.
and I was glad that it was like a big reveal for me,
Mhm.
honestly.
Yeah.
So,
Well, honestly, I thought that the if you haven't seen it, if you're listening, can I say?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
the mom. The mom was the one who was behind it all, and I felt like she gave herself up so quickly because I
So
feel
quick.
like as soon as the cops walked in, they were like, "It was you, wasn't it?" And she was like, "Yeah, I did it." And it was just like, you coulda
The be
denied a little bit.
well, the best she could say was, "Well, I didn't do the first couple."
Right.
But then I'm like, "Well, who would have just started that and then stopped?" But
It was so odd, and, like, the things that she would say were so odd. The verbiage she would use
Mhm.
was very strange. And
14-year-olds were not talking to each other like that. They
No.
don't know
no.
what half that
They
stuff
didn't know what
means.
any of what that was.
And the little voice
I
mm-mm.
had a feeling it was a adult,
Uh-huh.
and so I just
I thought it was going to
when
be
I
the
watched
principal.
things that's what
Sorry.
I was thinking too. That's
Really?
exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
When I watch stuff like that, I just go through everybody. So I'm like, oh,
Me
it's
too.
definitely. And I at one point did say the mom, but I was joking.
Mhm.
But I was like, no, it's a teacher, it's the principal, it's somebody, some adult in their
Mhm.
life.
Yeah. I
Well,
And
figured
then
it
when they
was an
said the mom, I was
adult.
like, I was joking, but damn.
even knowing the outcome, when it got to the part where they interviewed the girl that was on the basketball team with her, Chloe, I think it was,
Yeah.
I was like,
Mhm.
I'm still kinda thinking it was Chloe because she seemed like
It
she
probably
had
was a bit.
all
Oh,
the
whoops.
reason.
Sorry. She's
Yeah.
a child. Yeah.
Mhm.
But she seemed like she had all the reason
Chloe
in the
did something.
world because she was close with the boy and,
Mhm.
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 I don't know, she was known to kind of be a bully and a popular girl, a mean girl, so I'm
Yeah.
still not.
She
But the
had a mean
mom
girl
knew that.
vibe, even
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
true.
Yeah.
That's
I
true.
think that's what the mom
The
was
mom knew that
counting
and used it
on.
to her
And
advantage.
kinda set her up a little, yeah.
Mhm.
But
But when the
s
oh, go ahead.
no, I was just saying that the texts she was sending were insane.
Oh,
Insane.
they were
Mhm.
insane. And then when the cops came and told the husband, like, "Listen, it's your wife. We came here, we gotta get one of her phones." He's like, "Well, she has a couple." He's like, "Well, she's the one sending them." And when he leaned in and said, "Should she get arrested?"
Right.
I was done. I was like,
Should she go to
he's sick of
jail?
Kendra. Should she go to jail? He's like, "I mean, you can take her." Like, he is sick of
Yeah,
Kendra.
he was.
He was just so he went in there and it was like he was talking to his wife and it was like, "Damn the text messages. You don't have a
Right.
job, though?" Like,
Right.
he was killing me. They just kept telling him stuff, and he's like, "Wait, what happened to that
Well,
job?"
he kept
I was like,
saying,
"You
like,
you
she
gotta
needs to
go. You gotta
leave.
get somebody to come get
Yeah,
you." I know.
he's like, "You can't be here," and I thought the cops would be like, "Well, it's her house too, you can't really force her to leave," but they were just, like, sitting there letting him letting him tell her to go.
No, because they're the one who kept adding stuff to it,
Mhm.
and she doesn't have a job, and she
Right.
like, they were
just
telling him
spilling
stuff.
all the tea.
Yeah,
And
they
he
were
didn't
just
know.
spilling the tea. He said, "You gotta
Dang.
call your parents 'cause somebody's gotta come get you."
But why did they just let her stay? Like, why didn't they arrest her? Like, they were gonna just let her stay there with her kid that she victimized? Like, I don't understand.
Because I think at that point, they were just picking up the phone 'cause to have absolute proof, so they
Mhm.
didn't have a warrant for arrest yet. They had a warrant for
Oh,
searching, so they couldn't take her.
I
But he said, "Y'all
see.
y'all can," he was
But
saying,
she
"Y'all can take her. Somebody can take her."
Mhm.
Right,
The
somebody
husband.
needs to take
Yeah.
her.
I
But
see.
it's just crazy that the very last line was like, "Well, that's my mom, and I still love her more than anything in the world." I'm like, "After what she did to you?"
No. That poor
Like,
girl.
That part was really weird to me, the
that
It
Stockholm
was. I
was.
felt
syndrome
so bad
sorta.
for
Right, that's
yeah,
exactly what it felt
it
Mhm.
like. I was like,
was.
"Oh my gosh, that's
And then
horrible."
at one
Mm.
point, the interviewer kind of asked her, like, "Well, why were you saying these things?" And she was explaining how, well, her daughter she was explaining things about her daughter, and then the interviewer was like, "Well, were you maybe saying these things to yourself?" And you could see, like, a little light bulb go off, like, she was like, "Yeah, that might have been it. Like, thank you for giving
Yeah.
me an
Mhm.
excuse or a reason or something
Right.
that makes some kind of sense." Like, because nothing she said made sense. It was like she was still talking about it
She
all, like
wanted the kid. She wanted the boyfriend kid. I
I think
swear
so
I
it
think
was
too.
so.
something weird
I
there.
think so.
Mhm.
'Cause her
Yeah, they
face
kept
Mhm.
when they asked her if she,
Mhm.
like, was obsessed with him or something like that, she was like, "No,
Mm.
nothing like that."
I thought
Mhm.
that what it was too, because they kept trying to say, "Oh, it's like Munchausen, she just wants attention from her daughter." No, I think she
Mm-mm.
wanted that
Mm-mm.
boy. I
Mhm.
don't think
I
it was
mean,
that
to
Mhm.
deep.
go after the boy's new girlfriend who has nothing to do with
Mhm.
Right.
anything, it was about
Mhm.
Yeah.
him.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That was very weird.
Anyway,
Well, I've been
we
Yeah.
could have
seeing
solved the whole
Okay.
case way earlier, probably.
I've been it was well, first of all, another thing, it was weird that the parents didn't want to change the numbers. When they were like, "No, we wanna find out who it is in case we're, like, letting them into our homes," that the first
Mhm.
thing I would do would be change my kid's number. You know what I mean? If he was
Oh,
getting
yeah,
explicit
yeah.
texts like that, I
Mhm.
don't know, but I've been seeing a lot of parodies, and I mean, I hate to, like, body shame, but the stuff people have been saying about the mom on, like, TikTok has been very
I
hilarious.
know. It's been a little rough,
Uh,
but we just had to like, that's just been what people are talking about these past few weeks,
yeah.
so if
Yeah,
you haven't
for
seen it,
sure.
watch it. It's great. It's short, it's not one of those long documentaries, so
It
Mhm.
could have been a
it's
little
really good.
shorter for me, but it's okay.
Watch it and fast forward like Leah
Yeah.
does if you can't handle 90 minutes of a
No.
documentary.
Mm-mm. Like
Alright, so we'll start with our episode, and we are covering weapons today. So for our question for today is, do you believe in spells, curses, voodoo, witchcraft, etc.? Why or why not?
hmm.
Who wants to start?
Mm.
I'll start.
You
I
start?
do
Okay.
all of it. I believe in all of it. I don't even have a
Okay.
reason. I just know that
Be
Imma
all
go
the
ahead and
above.
say that I believe in all of it in case something happens. And
I like
it
that. That's a good way to look at it.
I
Yeah.
agree, yeah.
Mhm. And I know those Etsy witches are doing stuff, and it seems to be
I'm
working
a
They
fan
whatever
of
work
they
a
it.
little
do,
harder on a couple
so
things is all I'm saying, because 'cause I've been waiting for
Right?
one thing to happen, and they supposedly have been working on it, but
I know.
I'm not seeing the results I need,
I think
so
some things take longer than others, but, like, I saw one where the
maybe.
girl asked the Etsy witch to let her have good weather on her wedding day, and, the whole area was storming except for the one spot where her wedding was, and I was like, "Okay, well, I
Oh,
Ooh,
guess, they
Yeah,
work."
I
really?
okay.
like the Etsy wishes. They're great.
I was like, "Okay."
That's interesting.
I have a good friend who, is a Wiccan and does spells and all of the above, so
That's
I have no
awesome.
doubt no reason not to believe in any of it. The voodoo I learned about really young in this movie I watched called The Believers back in the '80s. I'm sure
Mhm.
none of you have seen it probably, but,
Mm-mm.
No.
um, it had this, like, little voodoo part of it, and I still remember the chicken getting its, like, neck cut
Uh-huh.
open and
Oh.
the blood in the bowl, and so I believe in all, just like Allison, just in
Mhm.
case, I believe in all of it,
Imma go ahead and
and
believe in all of it.
I'm going to keep my distance from trying any of it myself because I know I'd
Right.
be the
Yep.
type that would, like, blow the world up or something accidentally, so, yeah.
I mean, I don't wanna say that I don't believe it because I feel like that's stupid to say. But I feel like I almost think of it more like less like you just do a spell and whatever you did the spell about comes true, and more as like it's like your intention being put out there, and it's like
Uh-huh.
almost
Mhm.
like a way to focus it into a specific thing, kind of
I
like a
was gonna say,
meditation.
do you consider, like, manifestation, like, a
Well,
sub
yeah. So that's my
of
answer,
it?
Mhm.
actually.
Okay. Because
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so I
believe in
I
kind
do
of
too.
manifestation
I
100%.
yeah, I
Yeah.
believe I with Leah because I believe in all of it because to me there's absolutely no difference between wishes, prayers, manifestation, meditation,
Mhm.
all of that stuff. You're doing the exact same thing whether you want to like pick a certain deity to
Mhm.
say it to.
Mhm.
You're all focusing on the intent that you want
Mhm.
and you're putting it out into the universe. It's all the universe. We just call it different names. So there's no
And we're on a
difference
rock
between
flying through space. How is all of this
Right.
not possible,
Right.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well
so there's no difference between saying a spell and putting, like, a physical intention of something, saying a prayer, making a wish over a birthday cake,
mhm.
making, or manifesting or meditating and focusing on
It's
something.
like
It's
your
all the
energy
same
going out
energy going
there.
to something,
Yeah.
yeah.
And also
So,
too, if
I believe in
you
all of it.
are, like, on the receiving end of, say, a spell or a curse or something along those lines, I feel like it's kind of the same thing where if you're feeding into it, you're
Mhm.
gonna
Mhm.
if you believe it, if you
You
believe my
manifest it.
family's
Yeah.
cursed, yeah, exactly, you're manifesting the bad things, or at the
Right,
very least, you're seeing patterns and you're tying things together about these bad things that are happening to you, and, you're thinking, "Well, obviously I'm cursed," and then you're gonna live your life that way as though
right,
you
and
are
that's why I
cursed.
Yep.
think people are scared of curses and they think they're more powerful because if you're believing and you hear someone put a curse on you and you're believing it, you're now doubling their manifestation because you're also now
Mhm.
believing it.
That's
So it's
true.
Mhm.
like two people won't let it go, and the I don't think the universe or energy understands the difference between positive and negative. It just knows energy is being put into something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think one could exist without the other, is what I'm
mhm,
starting to think
Yeah.
and believe in my life, is that, you know, without really terrible tragedy, how do you know what real joy is?
Mhm.
Because they're almost kind of opposites. So I don't
That's
know.
true. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with that. Good to know we all take it seriously. We should be safe.
Mhm.
We'll be good.
Hopefully.
Mhm.
So this story does involve stuff like that. So we will go ahead
Oh,
and get
okay. I
started.
really have no idea what it's
Yeah.
about.
I
I stayed away
know.
from everything,
Oh,
I was
so
so
really?
excited when I
Oh,
told you
yeah,
guys
good.
it
I
is not
not a
zombies. I
clue.
was,
Yeah.
All I know
yeah,
is that the kids were running with their arms spread out, and
yeah.
that's
I was gonna s
literally the only thing
say
I
the
know.
same thing, Allison. I've tried to avoid spoilers the best that I could, and
Mhm.
so that I could have you guys tell me about it, but it's just I don't know. I've heard such good things about it, but everything have seen as far as, like, trailers and stuff, I'm confused, and I'm like,
That's
I don't
good.
know
I
what
love a confusing
to
Good.
trailer. Don't
expect.
give me everything in
Yeah.
the trailer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah. No,
prefer it,
Yeah.
yeah.
mhm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When I first saw the trailer, I really thought it was like a story about
Zombie.
the
Yeah,
Pied
me too.
Piper. I didn't
I
think zombies till someone sent me that clip. And then when I saw the movie, I was like, oh, thank God it's not zombies.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
when you mentioned the Pied Piper thing, I thought, "Ooh, that's actually a really
It would be
cool
cool to have
premise for a movie,"
yeah.
and that would have made sense, after seeing the trailer, but
Hmm.
I'm interested to know
Well,
what happened.
we're going to
Well,
tell you. Oh,
without
go ahead.
spoiling, do we get an explanation why the arms are spread out, or is that just
No.
Oh, okay, so I just
Yeah.
okay,
Just a weird
okay.
detail.
Not specifically that
I
stance. It's
think it's
just,
just how kids, you know how like when you see kids running, I genuinely think that was just
This,
part
like,
of
to show that
that.
they are children, like
well,
Well, or
because
that they
an
were like
adult does it
free, like
too.
just you're right, they
oh,
do. They
Yeah.
never do
Yeah.
explain that, do
They
they?
don't explain it. There's some things,
Huh.
and I'm gonna point out as we go that it just kinda happens and you just take it.
you
You
just
just
have to
Mhm.
take it
yeah,
in,
just
okay.
take it. Yeah.
Alright.
Alright. So, real quick. So, Weapons was released a month ago, August 8th, 2025. It is considered a psychological horror and dark comedy. It is written and directed by Zach Kreger, who is the guy who gave us
Yep.
Barbarian. So, if you like
Mm.
Barbarian, you will love this. It's that same feel by the end. It
Okay.
just gets fun and funny and amazing.
I wouldn't expect that, but I do like
Yeah.
him, and I liked
It
Barbarian, surprisingly.
oh, yeah, it takes that Barbarian turn
Cool.
towards the end where it's just yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
The movie stars Josh Brolin, Julia Garner, Benedict Wong, and Amy Madigan. And Weapons receives a 7.8 out of 10 rating on IMDb. It's a little over 2 hours long, but I will say my notes for some reason I did it under 20 pages. I'm getting better at condensing stuff, guys. So I think this is a test for me. So let's see how I can do. But I absolutely loved it, and it's so fun and funny and entertaining. It's a
Huh.
crazy ride. So, if you have seen it, we gave everyone a month. If you've seen it and want to hear us talk about it and laugh along with us, great. If you're here because you're worried it's too scary for you and just want to listen, then let's do this. We are pairing this movie with Knotty Vine's California Red Blend by Rodney Strong Vineyards. Knotty Vines is a blend of Merlot, Malbec, Zinfandel, and Petit Verdot. This is a medium-bodied, fruit forward and easy drinking red wine with velvety flavors of ripe plum, black cherry, chocolate, coffee, and a touch of spice. This wine pairs well with barbecue, pasta, beef and lamb, and of course, a wild ride of a horror film like Weapons. Enjoy! For more information about us and all of the wines that we feature, visit our website at fearandwine.com. And make sure you follow Fear and Wine wherever you listen to podcasts so that you don't miss a new episode. And if you like us, please leave us a 5-star rating and review. Thanks! The movie begins with the sounds of children playing and a voiceover of a kid, I think it's a little girl, but this kid, and says, "This is a true story. It happened in my town 2 years ago. A lot of people died in a lot of really weird ways. You're not going to find any articles about it because the police and top people in this town were so embarrassed that they weren't able to solve it. They covered everything all up. But if you come here and ask anyone, they're going to tell you what I'm going to tell you now. It all starts at my school, Maybrook Elementary, kindergarten through 5th grade. This one Wednesday, a normal day for the school, they have this teacher who is new. Her name is Justine Gandy. And this day, she was going to her classroom just like every other morning, but today was different. Today, none of her kids were there. And so we see the teacher, Miss Gandy, played by Julia Garner, walk into her classroom to find the room completely empty. Every other class at school has all their kids, but Miss Gandy's room is empty except for one boy, and he's sitting in the back of the room, and his name is Alex Lilly. The voiceover goes on to tell us that the reason all of the other kids were gone is because the night before, at exactly 2:17 a.m., every other kid woke up, got out of bed, went downstairs, opened the front door, and ran from their house into the night, and they never came back. And we see a shot of all of these kids all over town opening their front doors, and with their arms stretched out at their sides like they're about to take flight, they begin running through the streets of the town towards a specific destination. So now it's the next morning, and this voiceover tells us that all of the parents were sad and upset, and we see parents out in front of their homes, and they're talking to police and showing them their ring cam footage of all their kids leaving home at the same time. And we see cops searching the yards and wooded areas around town. And then we see the police talk to Alex, that one kid that was left behind, and ask him if he knew where the other kids went and why they left.
It's
But
so
oh, go
funny,
ahead.
just real quick, it's so funny how technology changes movies because, like, if this were 15 years ago, the ring footage wouldn't
Yeah,
have even been, like, a factor in it,
that's true. They had to work that
Yeah,
in.
yeah, yeah.
You can't say now that they were kidnapped because we
Right.
now have evidence of
Yeah,
them just
exactly.
running.
That's
Yeah,
that's funny.
that's true. Alex says he didn't know anything about it. He said if the kids had some sort of plan, he wasn't let in on it. If there was a TV show that inspired them to do this, he never saw it. Alex had no information to give the police. The police also talked to Miss Gandy, but she too knew nothing about why the kids all did this. The elementary school stays closed for a month while they conduct an investigation. And one night, before opening the school back up, they all have this big town hall type meeting with the parents. And they have the parents there, school officials, and counselors. And they all meet in this school's cafegimatorium. And they I used to love my cafegimatorium in elementary school. And this is where the story begins. So we are going to tell this story through the perspective of different individuals in the town that are directly connected to the story of the missing children. So first up is Justine, who is Miss Gandy. So we start with Justine in the town hall meeting, and she's listening to the counselor speak from the stage. And the speaker is interrupted by a father of one of the missing kids, and this guy is Archer, and that he's played by Josh Brolin. He says he doesn't want to hear about how to cope or how to deal with grief. He doesn't want counseling. He wants answers. He wants to know how 17 kids go missing one night, all at the same time, and all from one classroom.
Seems like a
He
weird thing
says,
to be asking the school. I guess it's a
because only
town
the
hall.
classroom. Yeah, it's a town hall.
That's
Like,
true.
so they have all the parents there, but I think
Yeah.
it's like I mean, I guess this is kind of a smaller town, so maybe that cafegimatorium is where they meet for these types of
Okay.
things.
Okay.
But it seems like it's the school because the classroom is what ties everyone
I see.
together.
Okay, that's
So,
true, that's true.
Is it
yeah.
just the kids from her class?
Just the kids from her class. Every
Okay.
other
Except for
kid
the
is in
one.
school except for the one, Alex, yeah.
Okay.
Who's no help at
Mhm.
all.
Gotcha.
No help, yeah.
He has something to do with it, I already know. Sorry.
Right, so he's like, "I need Miss Gandy to talk. I need her t" What?
I'm just laughing at Allison's
Her little mumbles, I know. he says, "I need Miss Gandy to talk, and I need her to tell us what's happening." So Miss Gandy says she'll take the stage, and she apologizes to the parents and tells them that she wants answers too. And the crowd is just unruly, and they're yelling out that she's a liar, and they really won't even let her speak, even though they want answers from her. They won't let her talk. So the meeting just abruptly ends, and then we see the school principal, Mr. Miller, played by Benedict Wong, who you might recognize from the Doctor Strange movies and the Netflix
Yeah.
show Three Body Problem. I love him. He's great. He rushes Miss Gandy out of the meeting and into her car as this mob of parents are running behind her and shouting at her. Miss Gandy gets into her car and is told by the counselor, just go straight home and lay low for now. So then we cut to Miss Gandy. So sometimes I'll call her Justine and Miss Gandy, but it's the same person.
Mhm.
And we see her getting out of her car, and she's not at home, but she is instead at the gas station convenience store where she goes to buy some vodka. And it seems as though Justine has a bit of a drinking problem. Now, it's hard to say if this was an issue before the disappearance of the kids or if the kids disappearing helped make this worse, but she's a drinker.
Well, she's a teacher, and if I had that
And
many kids to deal with all day, no offense, I would probably also be a drinker.
yeah. So maybe her drinking has just increased
Right.
now
Yeah.
with the kids being gone. Yeah.
As a
So
teacher myself, this behavior is not that
that
strange,
odd.
but anyway,
Yeah. It's a high
there's
stress
certain
job. I
days.
could believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
She's had a day. I mean, trust a week
Yes. She's
probably.
had a month. Yeah.
Yes. Imagine the
Mhm.
emails.
So,
Oh,
yeah,
Ugh.
right. So on her way into the store, there is this young, unhoused, I guess, skater-looking guy that tells her he's trying to get a bus ticket to go see his brother, so he's asking for money. And she says no, and she continues into the store. She heads straight back to the vodka section and grabs the 2 bottles that she needs and goes to check out. And then her phone rings, and it says at the top of the screen, "No caller ID." So while most of us will not answer those phone calls, she does for
it's
whatever
probably
reason.
Kendra, the mom
Right?
from the
Right.
documentary.
Right? I don't know who answers those. No
I
caller
don't.
ID? I don't know.
Yeah.
I sure
No.
don't.
No. But it's someone who just starts breathing on the phone at first, and then this voice speaks and tells her that she better watch her back, and so she hangs up on him. Justine pays, goes back to her car, and she's looking around suspiciously, and she's nervous because she knows people are after her. So back home, Justine pours herself a nice tall vodka soda, and her doorbell rings. She says hello, but no one answers. And she figures it's probably just the townspeople messing with her. And when she goes outside to see who it is, she sees that her car has been spray painted with the word witch on the side. The next day, Justine is in front of the principal asking for her job back or really any job that he can offer her in the school. And he tells her he thinks it's still not a great time for her to come back and it's best that she just continue to stay away from the school for the time being. Justine asks how Alex is doing and if she can talk to him. And Principal Miller tells her, look, we've discussed this before. You can't talk to Alex. He's fine. He's in a new classroom. He's been through enough and he had enough people talk to him about this case. Just let Alex move on and leave him alone. So now Justine is in her car ready to leave school and she's crying. And then the bell rings and then all these kids are pouring out of the building to head home and she spots Alex in the crowd. We cut to Justine now at the police station, showing them the damage to her car to file a report. And she sees an officer that she knows and that we think she might have a little crush on. And she smiles at him and waves. And then he gives her a half smile and waves back. And then he gets into his police car. Later that evening, Justine is at a bar drinking by herself when that same cop walks into the bar and sits with her. So we find out that they used to date and that she texted him and invited him to come have a drink with her. He tells her he's been thinking about her and asks how she's been doing with everything going on. And we get the sense that when they were together, they drank a lot together because she is surprised to learn that he is no longer drinking when he just orders a Coke.
Mm.
Justine gets defensive, though, and feels like that she's now being judged by him because he's like, you're drinking and I'm disappointed that you drove here. And so she's a little defensive right now. And he tries to tell her, look, the whole town is not against you like you think. It's all in your head, despite the fact that her car has been spray painted. So I'm not sure what he's doing here, but he's wrong. They are against her. Justine, though, is happy to learn that as they talk, that Paul, and that's the officer's name, is no longer with his girlfriend, Donna. The two of them flirt a little at the bar, and then it cuts to the next morning, and we see that they have slept together. Justine drives Paul home, and Paul seems a little testy, and I think it's not so much that he regrets hooking up with her, but I think he forgot how annoying and rude she can be. Because, I don't know, they just get into this argument in the car over something stupid, and she is kind of picking on him, so. He tells her that he has a lot of work to do when he goes in today, but it's the same old routine stuff, and she kind of snaps at him about the missing kids. And she's like, well, maybe you guys shouldn't be doing the same day-to-day routine stuff when 17 kids are still missing. So then Paul snaps back at her and reminds her that he's not a detective. So 17 kids or not, he wouldn't be working on the case no matter what. So
Mm.
so Paul's a little moody and he's also hungover. So I
Actor, by
guess
the
he
way,
also
who plays Paul, I have
Mhm.
to interject here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He in this movie, I never found him to be attractive in any way,
Okay. Yeah.
just almost cringy. But if you look up this actor without the mustache, good
Mhm.
lord, is he hot?
Ooh,
Like seriously, and it's
really?
proof that a man with just a mustache has an immediate disguise. Like he can make himself look
Mhm,
like a completely different person.
mhm,
And that's what I
Yes.
realized about this guy who plays Paul. His name
mm.
is hang on, let me look, 'cause I'll tell you. It's Alden Ehrenreich, but you wouldn't even believe it if you saw him without his mustache.
Leah
Anyway,
and I were just talking about
sorry.
that, texting
Yeah.
about that last night because like
Oh, yeah.
men can like if their hair is too long or the facial hair isn't right, they can become immediately unattractive. You fixed it.
Yeah.
A day at the salon will make them suddenly so hot. And
It's
women,
true.
Well,
we
that's
don't
this
have that
guy.
like
Yeah,
30
that's this
seconds to
guy.
change our whole look thing that we can do.
I mean,
Look him up with mustache and then without, and then tell me there isn't like a ginormous difference. You'll
I'm
die.
looking at
Sorry.
him here, and the mustache, I kinda like it, but
Leah likes the facial hair.
I also like the
Leah
cop
likes that
I
cop
do
look
too. It's
though.
uniforms.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the
Okay.
cop
Yeah.
part, I don't know.
Mhm.
But
Yeah. It makes him look like a cop, but
he does
yeah.
look a little bit like,
Anyway,
I don't know, Tom Selleck,
just
but
like him without them. Give me no mustache. He has a
I'll
nice
have to
face.
look
I
him
don't need
up
a cover.
later. But yeah, he wasn't doing it
Okay.
for me as
No.
he looks in
Yeah.
this movie, but I will definitely look him up.
Okay.
Um, okay, so she did have well, I guess he is a little hungover, so apparently she did convince him to drink that night at the bar. So later that day, Justine is back at school and she is sitting in her car and watching Alex. So now I don't know, she's decided that she has no other job, so she's just going to stalk this third grader. And she follows Alex home in her car as he's on the bus, and then she walks him get off the bus, and then gets out of her car and follows him on foot to his
this
house.
is not, like, a good look when people are
It's
No.
already
yeah,
suspecting
it's
you of
not
something
normal.
shady, you know?
Right.
Mhm.
So it's like she's
Mhm.
every so now anybody who might be watching her is like, "Oh, she's gotta get that last kid she didn't get."
She missed one.
Right.
Right. That's what it looks like. Yeah.
You're right.
So she watches him go inside his house, and then a few minutes later, she rings the doorbell, but there's no answer. She knocks and calls out, but there's still no answer. Now, this is a very nice, medium size looking 2-story home in a pretty suburban line street. This is a nice home. The grass is overgrown a bit, but not enough to make the home look creepy yet or abandoned, but enough to where the HOA is getting ready to send out their first warning letter.
Mhm.
So when no one answers, Justine looks around the house and she notices that their windows have been covered by newspaper. But because newspaper does not make the best draperies, there are spots in between the pages where you can still see through, and so she peeps in. And when she looks, she sees a man and a woman sitting on the couch with their backs perfectly straight, perfect posture, and they're just staring straight ahead, not moving a muscle.
Mm.
Justine jumps back, startled, and then she runs into some metal trash cans, knocks over some stuff, and causes a whole bunch of noise. But she looks again, and the couple has not moved an inch.
Mm.
Justine drives away from Alex's home and calls the principal to tell him what she saw. The principal goes off on her because he told her to leave Alex alone and that she has now gone too far.
Right.
So we cut to Justine back again at the gas station to purchase more vodka. And now it seems that Justine has a stalker of her own. And this is none other than Paul's girlfriend, Donna.
Uh-oh.
Donna has followed her into the store. And we see as she's walking through the store, Donna just walking behind her, and then Donna just jumps her. She grabs Justine and throws her down on the floor and is ready to beat Justine's ass
My
right there in front of the
God.
Alizé.
This is
Yeah,
messy.
it
Yeah.
is. But thankfully, the store worker comes in and removes Donna just before any punches are thrown. And Justine just goes home and drinks her vodka soda and goes to bed. That night, she has a dream where she is walking into school to teach her third grade class, but the entire school is dark and empty. But now, when she walks into her classroom, all of her students are there, but they all have their heads down on the desk. Justine looks to where Alex is sitting, and we see Alex look up at her and he smiles. And he has a face full of horribly done makeup on. He has foundation and powder that are 3 shades too light for him. So he looks
Alex?
like a mime. Yes, and this is her dream. She's having
Yeah.
a nightmare.
Not a
Oh,
mime.
Alex.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so she looks like his face is white like my makeup,
okay.
and he has this bright blue eyeshadow.
Can I
Go ahead.
just interject quickly? When
Mhm.
I was roughly Alex's age, I don't know, what are they, like, 3rd grade or something?
3rd grade, yeah.
Okay, I actually think I was in 3rd grade, and, this feels so dumb to even tell this story, but my class got to do, like, a mime class, and we did it, like, via whatever the equivalent was of Zoom back in the day. It was like a video thing, so we were
Okay.
in this big room, and there was, like, a mime guy up on the screen, and they, like, taught us how to do
Why why was
mime
this a school
stuff.
activity?
That's
I don't
useful. They don't teach us
know.
how to do taxes,
I
but
don't
they'll teach us how to be
know.
mimes for a
They
day.
What?
Oh my
legitimately
god.
painted our faces, and I rode my bike home with my makeup on thinking I was the
Mm-mm.
coolest thing in the entire world, not
Oh my
realizing
god.
kids were probably laughing at me, but
Oh, I would've moved out of the neighborhood. I'd be like, "Something's wrong with these
Yeah.
Kelly
children
was
in this
If it was Kelly was
neighborhood."
there, she would have been laughing at you for
I know.
sure.
For sure.
I know,
I
but
don't know if laughter would have been I think I'd have been shocked. I don't know if laughter would have been the first thing out of it, especially if you and I were friends, I'd have been like, what do I have to do this class too? Like, what is happening?"
Right.
I would have refused to do the class for
I would've
sure.
been pulling my kid from the school saying,
Oh
"This
my
is
god.
nonsense."
Looking
We're not
back on
doing
it,
this.
yeah, it was weird, but at the time, it was like some sort of thing that, like, we won. Our class won this sort
It
of
was a reward?
opportunity.
Oh, okay.
Punishment.
Anyway, like, yeah. I just
They used to
Wow.
make a square dance back in the
I
did
had
any
to
of
do
you have to
that
do
Yeah,
that?
too.
we had to do that, yeah.
Okay,
They were just
yeah.
Yeah.
embarrassing the
That was
crap
part
out
of
of
the
us as
curriculum.
kids, that's all it was.
They
Yeah,
they were.
probably a chance for the teachers to laugh at us,
Exactly, the
probably.
teachers got a kick out of this, like, "I can't believe they let
Mhm.
us do this shit." Like, the teachers were loving it. But anyway, Leah, that's
Oh
exactly what he looks
gosh,
like.
okay.
He has on, like, bright blue eyeshadow and these
Oh,
overdrawn red
man.
lips, but yeah, he looks crazy.
Wow.
So this makes Justine wake up from her nightmare, and she sits straight up in bed. She looks out of her bedroom door down the dark hallway, thinking she can hear a noise, but she's convinced now that there's nothing there and it's all in her head. She lays back down, and then we get our first big jump scare when we see above her on the ceiling an old woman
Ew.
in a red bob-style wig with short bangs, and this woman's face is beat for the gods in that same mime palette makeup that Alex was
Oh my
wearing.
god, the face.
Okay.
The face that
This is a
scared me.
crazy face. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and she's wearing these red, white, and blue nylon tracksuit that was big with the elderly crowd in the '90s and
What?
early aughts. She has one of those on, but it's
Mhm,
a quick
mhm.
flash
Oh, is she, like,
of this.
crawling on the ceiling?
She's laying on the ceiling looking
Okay.
straight down at her. So
Ooh.
Justine's laying on her back in bed looking at the
Ugh.
ceiling, and then this face
Yeah.
looks straight down at her.
Oh, no.
It's a
Okay,
It's
quick,
okay.
terrifying little jump scare for
it's a
sure.
jump scare, yeah.
Mhm.
And then she looks up again. She screams, but then when she looks up again, the woman's gone. So it's just that moment. The next day, Justine is stalking Alex again, and she waits for him in her car in front of his house. So just as he's about to pass her car, she hops out to talk to him. She tells him she just wanted to say hi and make sure that he's okay, and he says he's fine. And Justine keeps trying to talk to him, and then he turns around and yells at her to stop following him, and he runs inside of his house. Justine refuses to let this go, and she knocks on his door, but he won't answer. So what does she do? She's like, "Okay, cool. I'm just gonna do an old-fashioned stakeout now." So we move past stalking.
Oh, no.
So she parks in front of his house for the night and, kind of like across the street and on his driveway. But she's not great at doing a stakeout, and sometime during the night, she falls asleep. And the camera pans so it's late at night now, and the camera pans from the car where she's asleep to the front door of Alex's house, and we see the front door slowly open.
Mm-mm.
And out walks a figure that looks like the woman we saw earlier sitting completely still in the living room, and we can't see a close-up of her face, but her hair is wild and looks like it hasn't been brushed in weeks. And she has her right arm raised above her head, and she's holding a pair of scissors. The woman starts walking slowly and awkwardly towards Justine's car. So she's walking like she's a marionette and someone is controlling her,
Mm,
like with strings. Like it's just a funky walk, like you could only make a puppet do.
mhm.
She stops right at the driver's side window and looks in at Justine, who is still fast asleep. The woman walks around the back of Justine's car and out of frame. And while we see the camera stay focused on Justine, we hear the passenger's car door open.
Ew.
So
Oh.
we can't see the door open because we're looking at Justine as though there's a camera placed on the passenger side dashboard
Mhm.
and it's just facing her.
Okay.
So Justine does not hear the door open, and we hear the unmistakable sound of scissors being opened. And then we see a hand come into frame holding those scissors and reach over and quietly cut a lock of Justine's hair.
Oh, well, that was less violent than I was
Yeah.
expecting, but
Still extremely
Just for that
creepy. I don't know,
woman
that was a very
stabbing
tense
him.
moment in the movie, yeah. So
Mm.
now we are with Archer. So we're gonna see the story from his point of view. And Archer is the father of one of the missing kids, and he's the one who stood up at the town hall earlier and yelled at Justine.
Mhm.
And his son is Matthew. So Archer is watching his ring cam footage from the night that Matthew ran away over and over. Later, Archer goes to work at a home that he's building, so it looks like he's probably a contractor or builder or something. And he finds out that he's messed up on an order and ordered the wrong paint for the home, but he's understandably been distracted since his son has been missing. He leaves the job site now and is with the police talking to them about why they've stopped questioning Miss Gandy and why they no longer have the canine units out looking for the kids. Then cuts to the night of that town meeting where he stands up and says he wants to hear from Justine Gandy. And after the meeting, we see that he has followed Justine home and watch her go into her house. Later that night, Archer is sleeping in his son's room and he starts to have a dream. And in his dream, he seemingly astral projects from his body. So we see him get up and he turns and looks and his body's still sleeping. So he's now walking around in his dream in his son's room. And he hears a noise and then he walks down the hallway calling out his son's name. He goes downstairs and sees someone pass by near the front door, and he rushes towards the door and gets there just in time to watch his son run through the door, through the yard, and across the street like he's seen so many times before watching that ring cam footage. But now, because he's dreaming, he can chase after his son and try to follow him. So when he gets through the trees, he finds himself back in front of his own house again and watches Matthew just run towards the house and disappear. And then Archer looks up, and above him in the sky, he sees a giant assault rifle, and on the side of the gun are the electronic clock numbers light up reading 2:17 a.m. Now, I
What?
have to ask Kristen this. I didn't understand the assault rifle. It doesn't
Yeah, no,
to
me
me, it
neither,
doesn't
really.
come back. I'm just telling you right now, it does not come back into play at all.
That's one
So
of those
Yeah,
they
things
it's
where
just
you just have to take it in.
that's
mhm.
one of the
It's just
things you
there.
just take it. It's a cool moment and visually it's really cool, but why it's a gun, I don't
Is
know.
it like
We
a
don't know.
hologram?
Maybe just to show the time. I
It
think
was
it
to
was more
show the
about the
time,
time,
but
but
maybe
still.
and violence, but
Yeah.
why a gun? Why not just a big clock? I don't know.
Hmm,
I don't know.
huh.
Who
I
knows?
mean,
Maybe to
So
make you
anyway,
think he's
maybe it's
nefarious
just
somehow.
throw you
The
off.
red herring kind of
Mhm.
things that kinda get thrown around in this. I That
Yeah.
might be one of those, sorta.
yeah.
It might just be to throw you off because I kept thinking about that
Yeah.
gun. I was like, when does that come back?
Huh.
So
I mean, I
I
Yeah.
don't
have
know.
heard
It
that
does not.
people, inferred that this, like, had some undertones of, like, it had to do with school shootings, but I think as far as I've
Mhm.
heard, Zach Kreger said that that was not part of it, so I don't
I
Yeah.
didn't get that at
I
all
didn't get
about
that
school
at all.
yeah.
shootings. Mm-mm.
I
Mm-mm.
wonder what that's about. Hmm.
We don't find out, I'm telling you right now. So so Archer then runs into the house and looks around for Matthew, and he goes upstairs to Matthew's room and opens the door, and he sees that someone is laying in his bed. He slowly approaches the bed and turns the body over towards him, and it is Matthew, and he's staring silently at him. Archer says, "Matthew, where have you been? Where'd you go?" But Matthew doesn't answer. Archer starts to cry and tells Matthew that he loves him and he apologizes for not telling him more. And then out of nowhere is this bright light from somewhere illuminates Matthew's face. And then we get another big jump scare because in a quick flash it's no longer Matthew, but that redhead
Oh,
clown looking woman.
oh no, that's terrifying.
Yes.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So this wakes Archer up from his dream and he is panicked and terrified. It's now the next morning, and Archer walks out his front door to head to work, and he pauses and he looks across the street, remembering chasing his son in his dream through the trees. And we see him take notice of a giant antenna tower off in the distance, in the direction his son ran. So I guess at this point, Archer says to hell with work because he goes back inside the house and he takes out this giant map of the town and subdivisions with all the home lots on it. And he starts circling homes and making plot points on the map and drawing lines like that somehow makes sense to him. I haven't caught up with his brain, but this makes sense to him. And I think he drew a line from his home to the tower and the path he thinks his son ran. So after drawing on a map a little bit, he feels like he has gathered enough clues to start ringing other neighbors' doorbells who also had missing kids from that night and asking to see their ring cam footage. So he goes to the first house, and of course, the woman says, "No, I'm not comfortable letting you in my house to see my ring cam footage." So he says, "Okay," and Teddy understands. But instead of leaving, he just parks out in front of her home and watches her house from his truck while he has some snacks. And then moments later, the husband pulls into the driveway, and the husband is Justin Long. So he makes a little cameo in this
Oh,
movie.
that's cute
Oh.
crossover.
I
I
know.
loved that cameo.
I loved it.
Yeah, that made me Yeah, me too. It was just the tiniest little cameo too.
Mhm.
So he
Okay.
doesn't stay, guys, but
Oh.
No, he doesn't. It's
Oh.
just
it's a
moment.
nod back to Barbarian, I feel
Barbarian,
like.
yeah.
Mhm.
But, of
Mm.
course, me, right away, I was like, "Oh, Lord, is this movie about to turn, though? Because this is the people who made Barbarian, so we're about to get a whole
Right.
new movie for a
Right.
second.
Because
It's
that
like, when
sure
I see
did
Justin Long
happen.
now, I think the movie's gonna change.
I had the same thought, which they
Did
probably
you?
did that to us on purpose,
I
to
think
make
so.
which is kind of funny when you think about it.
Mhm. But,
So,
because I was really invested. I was like, "Oh, come on, man. Don't don't change it right now. We're in the middle of something." But luckily, that doesn't happen. It's just Justin Long, and it wasn't the omen I thought it was. So Archer hops out of his car and to go talk to him, figuring he'd have better luck speaking man to man, and it works. Justin lets him I'm just call him Justin because they didn't give him a name. So Justin lets him into the house and lets him watch the footage, while his wife stands 10 feet away, staring daggers at them with her arms crossed in disbelief at the audacity. She's
Mhm.
like, "And I told this man no, and now you got him up in my house
I mean, I
watching
kind of feel
stuff."
like this ring cam footage would be part of, like, evidence, and they would all have reviewed it all anyway, but
The
whatever.
police for sure have,
Yeah.
but, I guess Archer's gonna do his own investigation
Mm.
because the police aren't doing what they needed to do. So Archer gets what he needs from the video, and that's just to see which precise direction the kid was running in so that he can put some more lines and plot points on his map. So now he has a spot where those two lines intersect, and so he heads there. But on his way, he sees Justine Gandy in her spray painted car pulling into the gas
She
station.
didn't cover it up?
She hasn't gotten it painted yet.
Oh, well, I mean, I would've just
Listen,
spray painted over it, but whatever.
I guess you could do that because I'm like, well, she's it costs a lot to paint a car
Yeah, it
over.
does.
Unless the police maybe told her keep it like that forever. Who
That's
knows? I
true,
don't know,
that's
but she
true.
hasn't fixed it yet. Yeah. So he
she's on a
decides to
teacher's salary, y'all. Give her a break a
yeah.
little bit.
Right.
Just like,
Spray paint, you get that for under $10.
Yeah, but she's gotta make room for her vodka habit, like, she's got a budget. So he decides to take a little detour from where he's headed to pull into the gas station and talk to her. So, I mean, to me, I was like, "Well, damn, Archer's really not going to work today. He's just work is just not happening because he's clearly moved on." So he gets out of his car and confronts her as she's pumping gas. He says he has questions for her, and she says, "I don't have any answers to those questions." And the two of them start arguing and fussing back and forth when we see in the distance, running straight at them with his arm stretched out to his side, just like the kids, like he's about to take flight, is Principal Miller. And as he gets a little closer, Justine notices him, and his face is all bloody, his eyes are glazed over and bulging out of his head, and she realizes he is coming directly for her specifically. But before she can fully process what she is seeing and react, Principal Miller leaps on top of her and starts choking her.
Oh.
This causes her to drop her gas pump, and now fuel is everywhere. And Archer jumps on top of the principal and tries to pull him off of her, but he has that really focused, crackhead, super strength energy, and he is not letting up. But somehow Archer is able to get him off of her for just a few seconds and buy her enough time to crawl away out from under him and get inside of the convenience store, while Archer is just punching him and kicking him. The principal tries to go after her again, but she's now run inside the store and Archer blocks him. So now this crazed principal starts choking Archer, and that's when the screen goes black. And now we're with Paul. Paul is the police officer that Justine used to date and that she hooked up with that night at the bar. So we're going to see his story.
Okay.
We see him in front of his locker at the police station getting dressed and ready to start his shift. He's on the phone with his girlfriend Donna, who he is not broken up with, even though he
Mhm.
told Justine that he was.
Huh.
Right. And Donna is telling him about how she's ovulating soon, so they need to try again to get pregnant.
Don't do it,
So
Donna.
he go yeah.
Don't do it, Donna.
He goes outside and we see that this is the moment where he saw Justine from her perspective earlier. So when he goes outside and waves at her, that's that crossover moment where she's showing them the vandalism on her car. So Paul starts his shift and he's driving around town when he sees a grungy looking older teen running through the streets and alleys looking very suspicious. This is that same teen that was talking to Justine the night before asking her for money to go see his brother when she was at the liquor store. Paul either knows this kid to be a troublemaker or he thinks he just looks shifty because he follows him and finds him in an alley trying to break into a building through the window. He tells the kid to freeze, and the kid gets spooked and takes off running. The chase takes place and ends with Paul cornering him with his car and then chasing him down on foot, tackling him to the ground. Paul slaps some cuffs on the kid and then goes to pat him down and search him before throwing him in the back of the car when he gets stabbed by one of the kid's drug needles in his pocket. And Paul is pissed because he specifically asked the kid if he had any needles or
Mhm.
anything on him that could injure him, and the kid said no. The
Well,
nerve of this heroin user to just outright lie
I'm
to him
gonna
like that.
say, they always ask, "You got anything that's gonna stick, stab, or poke me?" And it's like, well, why are you gonna believe what they say anyway?
Yeah. Yeah. So Paul punches the kid and knocks him out. And yes, it was all caught on the dash cam. But once Paul realizes that, he unplugs the dash cam and then he decides to play cool cop and he's just going to let the kid go. So he wakes the kid up and he's like, hey, be cool. Don't say anything about this. And I'm just going to let you go with a warning. Now, I will give this to Paul. He does go back and tells his police captain, who happens to be his girlfriend Donna's father,
Oh, okay.
what happened. And the captain says, okay, as long as the victim never says anything, then you're good. And the footage will eventually get erased. So I guess, Leah, you might know this is maybe after 30 days or whatever, those tapes just get taped over.
That's a good
I
question.
don't
I
know
don't
how it
know
works.
about
Yeah.
that either, but I would imagine it's on record somewhere for
Yeah, I guess if there's no incident, maybe the tape just
yeah, maybe.
goes over. I don't know.
Because I think they have well, I know as far as body cam goes, I think they have people that review those. I don't know if they
Oh,
look at
okay.
all of them or if it's just, like, spot checking type of thing, but
Interesting.
yeah.
Okay. So Paul gets back in his police car, and that's when we see him get a text from Justine that she wants to meet up later. The next morning, Paul goes back home and sees his girlfriend, Donna. So this is it. Next morning after Justine has dropped him off, we're at that morning. And his girlfriend Donna is at home and she's in a great mood. She didn't have to work that day and she's telling him about it, but Paul is horrible at not looking guilty and she knows something is up and she figures it out right away. So that's when she decides she's going after Justine. The next day, Paul is at work and he is walking out to his car at the station to start his shift. And who does he see across the street? That same drug addict kid. And the kid is not doing anything wrong at the moment. He's just walking down the sidewalk. But just seeing him sets Paul off and he starts screaming and chasing him in his car again. Now, James. This is James's story. And James is the drug addict kid we just talked about. James is living in a tent out in the woods or wooded area of the town somewhere. He is fresh out of heroin and looking for his next fix. James needs money, so he's walking around talking to his brother on the phone asking for money while simultaneously trying to find unlocked cars. He does find a car that's unlocked, and in it is a kid's backpack with a kid's iPad and some headphones. So he takes that to the pawn shop to try to get money. And while at the pawn shop, James notices a poster that says $50,000 reward for information on the missing kids. The shop owner tells him that he's not going to give him any more money for this mess. So that's when James heads to the alley where he's trying to get into a window, into that building from the window when Officer Paul catches him. So after James wakes up from being knocked out by Paul, he's walking around town in the rain with no particular destination. And that's when James comes across Alex's house. He notices trash laying in the driveway in the overgrown yard, and this makes him stop because these are signs that a home could possibly be empty. James knocks on the door and there's no answer, so he heads around back and he climbs up a pipe to an open window on the second floor and crawls in. The room he crawls into is full of junk and he makes a ton of noise getting in there. He just falls over everything. But no one responds, so he figures he's right about this house and it has been abandoned. James grabs a pillowcase and starts going through the house taking things that he thinks he could pawn. He's not finding much, but he goes downstairs to the living room and he sees an old gaming system and some DVDs underneath the TV. And when he looks at the TV, he sees the reflection, and in the reflection is that man and woman sitting right behind him on the couch, staring straight
Oh,
ahead.
that's
So
so
this is another
creepy.
little jump
Oh,
scare.
that's
Yeah.
so creepy.
It scares the crap out of him, and he immediately starts apologizing to them, but they aren't moving or reacting. He gets up in their face, and they still remain very still.
So their eyes are, like, open. They look like they're
Yep.
awake?
Yep, they look
Okay.
like they're looking right
Not
at you, but they're
moving.
not
Weird.
moving. Nothing's
So
happening.
disturbing.
It's very
Mhm.
disturbing, yeah.
Mm.
So James is like, "All right." And he just keeps taking stuff. Like, he's not it doesn't send him running from the house. He's just like,
Doesn't
"Okay, they're
deter
not gonna
him.
react, so, yeah, I'm just gonna take some more stuff."
That's wild.
He even hears a noise upstairs, but for some reason, this doesn't bother him. He just keeps going through the house taking
He's on a
things.
mission.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's got
Heroin's a hell of a drug.
it is. He's got some silverware, some other crap. He's just going through the house taking stuff. So then he's like, "I'm gonna go check out the basement." So he goes down in the
Mhm.
basement, and lo and behold, what do you think he finds?
Kids.
That old lady.
Yep.
Oh, there's
He
kids.
finds
Yes.
all
How'd you know?
That was just a guess.
He
That was-
finds
job,
all
Allison.
17 of the missing kids from Miss Gandy's classroom standing in the basement,
Really?
silently staring straight ahead. They're just standing like
This
perfect
part
little
is so
soldiers, staring
upsetting.
straight ahead.
Are they
Yep.
like the people that are upstairs, like catatonic?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Now, one kid does turn around and look at him, just slowly turns
Oh,
around, looks
no.
at him, nothing scary happens, but
That's
and
scary
James
enough.
it's scary
Right.
enough, but he doesn't, like, leap or run, he
Yeah.
just looks at him and then turns back around, and James takes off running back upstairs. He drops some of the silverware he's stolen, but so he takes time to pick that up,
Mm,
and he's picking that up to put it back in the pillowcase when the couple on the couch gets up
uh-uh.
and walks towards James. They're walking, yeah.
Mm-mm,
James bolts
mm-mm-mm.
out of the door just before they get to him. So we cut to James back at the pawn shop. So James is still on his mission.
He's like, "This is all weird and all, but"
Yeah, he's like, "I'm not gonna say anything, but I
He's like,
did
"But I'm
collect
getting
his
them
silverware."
drugs."
Right, yeah.
Mhm.
So he
But
got $100 for everything he stole from the house. But go
he
ahead.
did see that sign that there was the reward money, so, like, you'd think that'd be the first thing he would do.
It is. Yep, that was my next sentence.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So he gets $100 for everything he stole from the house, and he sees that reward poster again because I guess he has a short memory, so he sees it again. He's like, "Oh, yeah, that's right."
Mm.
And he leaves the pawn shop and calls the police. Now, the police don't really seem to believe him on the phone, but he's like, he's gonna come over there and tell him to his face. I mean, they have to take it seriously, but they're like, all right, whatever.
Mhm.
So he's headed to the police station, and that is when Paul sees him and chases him again.
Oh.
Yeah. So James is running and he's able to lose Paul when he runs into the woods back towards his tent. But just before he gets there, in the distance, he sees that red-headed older lady with the crazy clown makeup waving at him. So
Oh.
now she just looks like a character on TV, like a
Yeah.
crazed Sherry Lewis from Lamb Chop, like just waving at him. Like, I don't know. Actually, that's what it
Is she
reminded me of.
still
It's
in the
like,
tracksuit?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
see,
she's
that
still in.
part makes it
Yeah.
silly.
That's her outfit.
She looks like your I had an aunt okay, let me just I'm sorry I have to interject,
No, go
but
ahead.
I had an Aunt Dolly who did her makeup like this back in,
Aw.
like, the late '80s, early '90s. So it's
Mm-hmm.
and she wore a red wig,
Mm-hmm.
to make she didn't want people to know her hair was wet. So this is not this version of the woman is a more realistic version than
Mhm.
the one but it's still
Yes.
obviously the same
Well,
lady.
especially,
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
that we're in Florida and we have a large, like, elderly person
It's a look.
population, so it's
Yeah.
kinda like the way you're describing her doesn't sound that jarring just
Mm-hmm.
on the surface, but
The look itself, if you saw it passing you at the mall,
yeah.
wouldn't be as jarring. It's just
When she's on your
where she's
ceiling at
popping up.
night, yeah,
When
that's
she's on your
Yeah, yeah,
ceiling,
yeah,
when
yeah.
she's your son, when she's in the
Right.
when
woods and
she
nobody else knows it.
yeah,
Yeah.
when you turn your child
If you're
over
at
and
the
it's her,
Villages,
that's kinda
yeah,
scary.
yeah.
Yeah, if
If
you're
you're
at
at
the
the
Villages,
Villages,
yeah,
it's fine.
it's fine. It's a look. Yeah, it's like we've seen this look in Florida, but
Mhm.
yeah. So she's waving at him. So James runs to his tent and he zips it up and hides in there. And James grabs 3 of his heroin needles and holds them up in his fist as a weapon. So he's ready to go. And he watches as this shadow appears in front of his tent that slowly starts to unzip his tent. And as soon as the tent is open, James lunges toward the person who opens it and plunges those hypodermic needles right into the cheek of Paul the cop.
I knew it.
Oh.
Paul can't catch a break.
Well, he should stop harassing this
He has to
kid.
stop. He has to leave this kid alone. Yeah. He's not doing anything.
Yeah.
Paul is livid and pulls James out of the tent and draws a gun on him. And James tells him, wait, wait, wait. I know where the kids are. I saw them all at a house. I can take you there. And he's just confessing everything. So Paul is hesitant again to believe him, but he knows he has to check this out. So he puts James in the back of his car and they drive to Alex's house. So while he's in the car, Paul's like, do you have any diseases? Like he's now been struck by several of his needles. And
Right.
James is like, I don't know. I don't think so. He's like, oh God. So, so they get to Alex's house and Paul goes to the door and leaves James in the car in the back seat. And James watches as he goes inside. So when he goes inside, it is daytime when Paul goes in. And then we do a cut and it's now nighttime. And James is still in the back of this car, handcuffed and complaining.
Uh-oh.
Suddenly, the front door of the house opens up and Paul is now power walking with way too much intensity back to his squad car. His eyes are all crazy. He opens the back door and drags James out of the car and into the house.
Is he, like, looking like the way the principal was?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, are his arms out?
His arms aren't out. He
Oh.
was power walking. His arms were swinging.
Oh.
Mhm.
Yeah,
He
his
had a
arms weren't out.
different
He had a
swagger.
different,
Weird.
different assignment. So now, though, Leah's really good at predicting what's going to happen in movies.
Well, not as
because
good
we
as
are now,
Allison, because she guessed that all those kids were in the
I
basement.
know.
yeah. Well, you're good at like picking out the timelines
Ah.
because now we're going to talk about Marcus, and Marcus is the principal. We're going to hear
Oh.
his story.
I felt it in my
I
bones.
do love this like way of narrating a story
really
where
do.
everything comes. It's almost like Pulp Fiction style, where you get all
Mhm.
the little pieces,
I was gonna say,
and
I
yeah,
like
it's
the way
fun.
each time it goes to a new story, it kind of backtracks a little bit and shows, like, before
Mhm.
and
That
then
shows the intersection,
right,
yeah.
yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like how
Yeah.
they did it, yeah. So now this is Marcus's point of view, the school principal. Marcus is at the grocery store shopping with his husband, and he is on the phone with Justine, and she's telling him that there's something wrong with Alex and something going on at his house. So we already saw this conversation from the other side, and it ends with Marcus telling Justine he will look into it and request a meeting with Alex's parents. It's now a new day back at school, and it's time for Marcus's meeting with Alex's parents. But the person who arrives to this meeting isn't either of Alex's parents at all. In walks, take a guess,
The lady?
The old
the
lady.
older redheaded woman. She looks
Mhm.
normal now, but she's an older redheaded woman dressed in shades of purple color block polyester pantsuit straight out
Mhm.
of the 70s.
Hmm.
Mm.
She's carrying a pink flower carpet bag style purse like Mary Poppins. And she has on big 70s sunglasses, red lips, overdrawn lipstick, and looking
Sounds
like
like
a
a
clown, but
vibe.
not as it is a vibe, yeah. Not as crazy, not she doesn't have the pale makeup on and the
Mm.
bright lipstick, but her red bob wig has these super short bangs that are way too short for her forehead.
Like baby bangs.
Yeah, and it's, like, too short for, like and you know how sometimes it's fashionable? These are too short for anyone's forehead unless you're Teresa Giudice from, like, season 1 of Jersey. Like, no one's forehead can take these bangs.
Right.
And she introduces herself as Gladys, Alex's aunt, and has the nerve to say, this part made me laugh, that Alex's mom is my baby sister. Now,
Oh.
unless Gladys's parents had her when they were 14 and then had Alex's mom when they were 60, there is no way that the two of them are sisters. It's just
Missed
impossible.
that part.
You missed that part? Oh, she's like, "Oh, yeah, Alex's mom is my baby sister." I was like, "Girl, please."
Totally missed that. Thank you for
That's
pointing
funny.
that out.
Yeah.
Well, some people, I
The
guess, refer to, like, just a younger sibling as, like, my baby brother or whatever, so maybe that's
But they're
what
I
she
mean, they're
meant?
not siblings. It's his aunt it's her
Oh,
mom's
I
aunt.
Aunt,
see,
yeah.
You see
okay,
what I'm saying? But
gotcha.
to go further and
She's
say, like, I
clearly
have
older.
Yeah,
yeah, my
Yeah.
mom's aunts, I still just call them aunts, I don't say great aunt or
yeah,
anything,
yeah.
but at no point would they say, "Oh, Kelly is my baby sister." No,
Right, okay,
it
you're
doesn't
right.
make any
Mhm.
sense.
Huh.
Yeah. So Gladys tells the principal that Alex's parents are ill and she's in town to help take care of Alex. So the principal, Marcus, seems concerned, but Gladys tells Marcus, "Oh no, the illness isn't serious. It's nothing to worry about. It's just a touch of consumption,"
Oh.
which, by the way, is tuberculosis. So it is very
I
serious.
don't know if you can have just a touch of
Mm.
it.
A touch of consumption, yeah. But she's lying either way, so it's fine. So Marcus says, well, because a welfare complaint has been lodged, he really needs to speak to the parents. So Gladys asks him, well, who made the complaint? And of course, Marcus can't say. Gladys looks over at some ribbons on Marcus's office desk and she just shrugs. It's now later on Saturday, so a few days later. Marcus and his husband are chilling at home watching TV when the doorbell rings, and it's Gladys.
Oh.
She is out of breath and seems frazzled, and she says that she missed her bus and had to walk all the way across town just to get to his house. And she's on the verge of collapse and asks if she could just come in and have a glass of water. Now, how she knows where the principal lives, I have no idea, and it is not
Mhm.
explained.
Mm-mm.
I don't
Okay.
know. Just this is another one. Just take it. She's walked across town, probably further from her house to get to this house. So I don't get it, but whatever. So
Those
Marcus,
information is way more easily found on the internet than one thinks. She probably just was able to Google his full name and address
yeah,
That's
popped up,
true.
and then,
yeah,
you
I
know,
guess that's I guess that makes
yeah.
sense. I don't know. Yeah,
Mhm.
I guess so. So Marcus, listening to his gut and being smart, tells her, You can't come in here for some water." And I don't blame him because this whole story and this woman is so weird that I wouldn't want this nonsense in my home either.
Mm-mm.
But Marcus's husband, who is adorable, but he should have kept his ass on the couch and his mouth shut, feels bad for this old lady and says, "Of course, come on in."
Ugh.
Mm.
Right. So Gladys gets in the house and she is just so over the top, going on and on about how beautiful and fabulous everything in this very average looking home is. And Marcus's husband loves this eccentric old loon. He loves her. Did you see how much he was smiling, Kristen? I just kept watching his face as she was going around the house.
He
Yeah,
was tickled.
That's
he
funny.
was. He really was. And to me, it was much like how I was initially enthralled with Tanya from Chimp Crazy. Like it's that same vibe. Like when you first just see a crazy person,
Yes.
it's that fascination. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So once in the kitchen, Gladys has now changed her water order to a bowl of water.
Uh.
And she
What?
says, "It's just," I know. She's like, "It's just a personal quirk of mine. I don't even try to explain it anymore." So they give her a bowl of water.
That's so
Yeah,
weird.
it's so weird. So they're like, "Fine, just take the water." I think Marcus just wants her out, so he's getting her a bowl. So Gladys tells them that she did speak to Alex's father, and even though he's still very ill, he will come into school on Monday and meet with him. Marcus sets down the bowl of water for her, which, for whatever reason, I thought this odd. It wasn't a soup bowl, which is what I would go to, but a glass mixing bowl.
Oh,
I don't know. To me, if you've gone from a glass to a bowl, the first thing I'm gonna grab you is a soup bowl,
right.
thinking that's
Right.
first of all, I don't know why I would give you a bowl of water to drink, but if that's what you need, that's what I'm
I
going
mean, I'm
for.
fully expecting her to get down on all fours and drink it like a dog.
Right. Right. So that's to me, that's a soup bowl.
Yeah.
But whatever. Yeah. So Gladys keeps he puts down the bowl of water and Gladys keeps chattering away. And as she does, she reaches into her Mary Poppins carpet bag and pulls out a stick with thorns on it. So it's like a stem from a rose bush, but more sturdy. It didn't look as like bendy as a rose stick.
Mhm.
And the stick has ribbons and tape and other crap around it. And she starts to twist the thorns around with her finger as she talks. And then when Marcus notices and recognizes one of the ribbons on the stick, he asks her, "Is that my ribbon?" And Gladys doesn't respond. She just says, "You haven't contacted Alex's parents, right?" And Marcus doesn't answer her because he's just stuck on just staring at this his ribbon of his wrapped around this
Right.
stick. And then suddenly Gladys slices open the palm of her hand with the thorn, and Marcus and his husband freak out. She tells him, "Oh, no, no, it was an accident." And she just asks for a rag. And she starts swirling the stick around in the blood in her palm. And then she pulls out a pair of scissors. And that so when Marcus's husband goes near her to hand her the rag, she reaches up and cuts off some of his hair. So this is all done in kind of a quick motion where they don't even realize she's pulled out the scissors, I think.
Mm.
The husband is beside himself, and then Marcus goes to call the police. So he picks up the phone. He's like, "I'm calling 911." Gladys then pulls out a bell and rings it. Marcus drops the phone and his eyes glaze over and they get wide, and he is now fully under her control. So now this is another thing to me. I understand that these are two very nice men and they would never hit a woman, but right after the haircut, I feel like at this point, let's not worry about the police. We need to disarm and subdue this attacker.
Sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
She's an old woman, kick her legs out from under her. Maybe she'll break a hip and then drag her body out or tie her up or something.
Yes,
But
just at the
before we
very
call the
least, like,
police, let's
just
disarm her.
keep her restrained somehow.
Right, yeah.
I shouldn't even have let her in the house in the first
I know
place, but
Marcus tried,
I
but
agree.
I'd have told my husband, "No, I
I
would have told her,
agree.
"No, he's not he can't speak for
Mhm,
you're not coming in this house."
mhm.
But
Yeah.
Right.
it's like, obviously you're watching a movie, so you know, like, no, this lady's fucking weird. You shouldn't have anything
Mhm.
to do with her. But like in real life, I feel like I'm the type of person that I'm like, well, I'm just a nice person, and I would feel
But a
awkward. And
stranger?
I
Oh, I guess
mean,
at that point, you kinda know who she is, though, I guess. If you put yourself in his
Yeah,
position, you
yeah.
think it's a student's aunt.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah.
like you
Yeah.
don't
True.
think like something weird or potentially
Yeah, that is
supernatural would be
true.
going on with her. So it's like,
Mhm.
in a real life scenario, would I do the same thing? I don't know.
Yeah, but again, so I would get that far, but once you have cut my, husband's hair,
Mhm.
where it's on, we're not I'm hitting
Yeah.
you, like, the next thing is gonna be physical. Some furniture's getting moved around in that house, and something's gonna happen.
Mhm.
So,
You'll
now
bum rush the show for sure, like, you
yeah.
should have tackled her.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, but now he's under her spell because she's done this little bell ring. So Gladys then takes Marcus's husband's hair and wraps it around this bloody stick that she has, and then she holds the stick up and snaps it in half. And that snap triggers Marcus to snap, and we watch as Marcus attacks his husband.
Oh,
He
no.
starts to choke him, and then he just vomits out all this black sludge all over him.
Ew.
And then he kills his husband by bashing his skull in with his own head over and
Oh.
over and
Like he's
over.
headbutting
Oh
him?
my
Yes,
goodness.
to death, and you just
It's
see his
really
face get
upsetting.
crushed in. It's
Oh my
very upsetting.
Mhm.
god.
I had to look
That's
away. Mhm,
brutal. Whoa, I was
It
not
was
expecting
brutal.
Oh
mhm.
that.
man.
Mhm. So all while this is happening, Gladys is on the other side of the kitchen just calmly cleaning up and straightening up and doing stuff you just do in the kitchen, putting things away.
Wow.
And she puts the halves of the stick into a bowl of water, and Marcus stops. So that's what stops the attack.
Oh, that's why she needed the bowl? Mm.
Gladys then removes the sticks from the bowl and removes the husband's hair from the stick, and then she pulls out a lock of Justine's blonde hair that she had that other
Mm.
woman cut that night of the stakeout. And she wraps that around the stick and breaks it. And this sends Marcus running from his house And now he is focused on finding and killing Justine, and
Mm.
that's the attack we saw earlier.
Okay.
Mhm.
Gladys puts all of her tools back into her bag and she leaves. So Marcus is gone. So she's just calmly straightening up and she leaves. Justine is able to escape her attack when she gets into her car, with Marcus still running behind her in the car. He's broken through her passenger side window and he's he can't stop.
That's
Like he's just
terrifying.
chasing her. So she's driving away. He's keeping up with the
That
car,
part
surprisingly.
reminds me
Yeah.
of 28 Days Later. Like
Yeah. So
the
that's why people are
So,
probably were
yeah, and
thinking
that's the clip
zombie
that
because
made
that run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. That's the clip
And
that
this
I was like,
clip
oh
is what made
man.
me think it was zombies too,
Me
Kelly.
too.
Same
Mhm.
Yeah.
thing. Mhm.
I was pleasantly surprised that it wasn't. Yeah.
Same.
So, as he's running
Oh,
behind her
one thing
car
real
oh,
quick,
go ahead.
because he does run with the arms the way the
Yes.
kids do,
Mhm.
and now when I really start thinking and retrying to, like, picture it in my mind, they're like they're like torpedoes, it's, like, almost like
Mm.
you're
Which is the
running
title,
at
yeah.
something to the point with,
Okay.
like, such ferocity, so I think that's
That's what it's
probably
oh,
the
that makes sense. It's, like, supposed
Okay.
to, like, symbolize a missile more than
Mm.
yeah, or like
yeah.
a
That makes sense.
fighter
Or a
plane, like,
bullet.
you're
Mhm.
going for or whatever. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, then that makes
Okay,
sense.
anyway.
Yeah.
Mm.
Alright.
So, as he's running behind the car, Archer's witnessing this whole thing because he's in his car. He's now jumped in his car trying to chase behind Justine. So, he sees this whole thing happen because he's running in between 2 cars. He gets hit by another driver
Whoops.
because they ran through a red light, so he gets hit by another driver and killed.
Oh.
So Marcus is now out of the picture. This other driver is screaming like his body is just destroyed, and Archer sees the whole thing. So later, Archer and Justine meet up at the hospital as Archer's getting bandaged up from the injuries that he got trying to help Justine when she was attacked. And Archer now feels bad as he understands whatever is going on and whatever happened to his son, Justine did not do it. Archer shows Justine what he has been working on with the map and trying to figure out where these kids went. Justine realizes that the lines on his map are intersecting at Alex's house. So now Alex's story. This is the best
I
part.
feel like the cops should have done
Yes.
that a long time ago.
To figure out the intersections and
Yeah.
stuff.
It was
I thought the same
Paul. I
thing.
mean, come on. We get this bumbling idiot of a
No,
guy,
like the
Paul.
detectives, like
Yeah.
that searched for
Yeah,
a
I mean, they
month.
should have,
They
but
should have. I thought
yeah,
they
we
would have.
didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you've
I
had
don't know.
weeks and weeks to look at this case, and you guys didn't think to do
They
Did
that?
did a
nobody
bad
busted
job.
out a map? Yeah.
Yeah. Weird.
I don't know. It's a small town though. Seems like yeah. So it's now sometimes several weeks earlier, and we are with Alex in Justine's classroom, and all the other classmates are there. Alex seems to be the quiet kid in school that some of the other kids pick on. After school, Alex's dad picks him up and they're in the car talking, and his dad tells him that tonight Alex's mom's aunt, Gladys, is coming into town to visit and that she might be staying for a minute. He tells Alex that Gladys is sick and she needs their help and that's why she has to stay with them. Alex's dad says that he nor his mom really know this aunt that well, but she's family and helping her is the right thing to do. Later that night, Gladys arrives. The next morning, Alex decides to peek in on Gladys and check her out. And when he looks into her room from the hall, he sees her wig on a wig stand, a very thorny potted plant, and then he turns and sees a frail and feeble looking old woman laying in the bed staring straight at him. And this startles him, so he quickly shuts the door. Alex goes to school and it's business as usual. He gets bullied by a kid in class named Matthew, who throws a pencil at his head. And Matthew is this total douche, and we recognize him as Archer's son, Matthew,
Mhm.
that's missing.
Yep.
So we're like, all right, whatever. We don't really care about Matthew. So after school, Alex waits in the parking lot for his dad, to pick him up as usual. But this day, his dad never comes. So Alex walks home.
Aw.
When he lets himself in the house, he notices that it's eerily quiet. And he looks around and he sees his dad and mom sitting silently at the dining room table, staring straight ahead at one another and not moving. Alex asks his dad, "Where were you?" And his dad answers, "Hey, how was school?" Just like in this monotone voice. And that's when Gladys walks in wearing her wig and she's dressed up in colorful clothes. She looks fabulous. And she has all the spryness and youth of a woman in her early 70s. She looks great and much better than Alex saw her this morning. She welcomes Alex home, but Alex can tell something's up and he does not like this lady and he pushes her away when she tries to, like, um, reach out to him. And she's like, "Well, your parents are just fine." And Alex sees his glass of water on the table and he throws the water in his dad's face, but his father has zero reaction. And this pisses Gladys off, and she tells him, "Go upstairs, wash your face, brush your teeth because you are not getting any dinner tonight."
I'm like, who are
So,
you?
right.
Right.
I'm not
So now,
listening to
yeah.
you.
Well, he does.
Ugh. I mean,
So,
I guess he's a
I guess
kid,
she's
so
a little scary, yeah.
yeah.
The next morning, he goes downstairs, and his parents are still sitting there in that same position at the table. Gladys is sitting with them at the table and between them at the head of the table, and she's wearing her Sunset Boulevard turban.
Mhm.
And she tells Alex, "Your parents are just resting." And she says, "When you go to school today, do not tell anyone about this. Do not tell them that I am here about how your parents are resting." And to make sure Alex understands that she means business, she takes out a new stick. She pricks her finger on the thorn and smears the blood around the stick that has both of his parents' hair wrapped around it and tells him, "Watch." She breaks the stick, and instantly both of his parents pick up forks that have been set in front of them on the table and start stabbing themselves in the face over and
Oh
over
my
with
Part
torches.
is
gosh.
Oh
this
my
part was
gosh.
so bad.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I'm like,
And
these
So bad.
little violent parts seem to, like, come out of
Yeah,
come out
nowhere.
of
Right.
nowhere. They do.
they do.
They really do. Alex is screaming. He's freaking out. He's screaming for them to stop. He tries to grab his dad's arm to make him stop, but they only stop once Gladys puts the sticks in the bowl of water. So now Alex understands what could happen if he says anything about Gladys. So Alex now continues to go to school every day, and he comes home to find his parents still in the same state, and Gladys has now cleared out the room upstairs and made it into her little witchcrafting office.
Imagine trying to go to school and learn and, like, pass spelling tests, but, like, that shit's
Right.
going on at home. Like,
I
oh, that poor
know.
child.
This poor kid. He's a good one, though. I mean, he held it together, boy.
Oh.
Mm.
So he's up in her new office, and she tells Alex that he will now be in charge of feeding his parents every day.
Ew.
So Alex does as he's told, and his parents are now put on a canned soup diet because that's all Alex can cook and get them to swallow.
Aw.
Mm.
Yeah. So this goes on for several days when one night Gladys calls Alex into her office and she is back to looking sick and feeble. And she is laying on the floor, kind of, and she's pretty much bald except for like 4 or 5 little box braids she has going on, plaited around her head.
Not box
That's what they look when you look at it. It's box braids.
Oh, God.
And she tells Alex that she is very sick, and the only thing that will help make her feel better is if he could go to school and bring an object from each of his classmates home to her.
Mm.
Alex asks her, "Okay, so if this helps and you get better, will you go back home?" She just looks at it, she's like, "Yeah, sure, maybe, I don't know." So, he sees he's to him, this could be an end to this, so he does as he's told. And it seems what she's doing is these spells, she's magically taking the life and youth of people to restore hers and keep her body from dying. So she
Mm,
probably should have been dead naturally, well, quite some time ago,
right, which is
but she's
probably why she
prolonging
mentioned
this.
the consumption thing, because that's
Yeah.
probably, like, from her time, you know?
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
that's possible, yeah. So, like I said, seeing an end in sight, Alex steals something from the cubby of each kid in his class. He removes the name tags from each of their tote trays during recess. And he's almost caught by Miss Gandy, but she doesn't notice the missing name labels. Alex goes home and slides all of these labels under Gladys's door. And that night, around 2:15 a.m., Alex goes into Gladys's room and watches her as she works her magic spells. 2 minutes later, she rings the bell, and the kids from all over town get out of their beds and run to Alex's house.
Mm,
Mm.
So now, to me, the wild thing is that she sent Alex back to school.
mhm.
She knew he would be the only kid in class and just
Right.
and just expected this 3rd grader to just hold her down and keep her secrets. So
It's the
so
worst
we
part of her plan for
yeah, the
Mhm,
sure.
worst part, why put Alex just hide him too, like, that made
mhm.
no sense. Yeah. So we now see Alex getting questioned by the police with Gladys and her father sitting next to him, and Gladys tells the police that Alex's dad has recently had a stroke, so he's not gonna communicate. So he's just sitting there like a zombie. He's just gonna sit there and stare straight ahead, but that's why. So the police are like, "Alright, I guess he's here." So that night, Alex watches Gladys do another spell to get all of the kids ready to hide somewhere else the next day because she knows that the police will be coming to search their home. So we see all the kids do their little airplane run someplace else that she found for them to hide for the day. Once that's over, the kids come back and they get stored back in the basement. Alex has to now feed 17 kids and his parents soup every day because Gladys
Oh,
can't be bothered to help.
dang,
Right.
soup's
That
expensive, that'd
single
be
mom who works 2 jobs. That's what I feel like for him should have been playing in the background.
Right?
Uh,
So we catch up to the current day, and Alex has come home from his latest grocery store trip with bags full of soup, and
aw.
Paul's car, the cop, is parked out front. Alex walks in the house, and it's like a wax museum in there.
Ew.
Paul and James have now been added to this human menagerie of completely useless people that he has to now feed.
Mm.
Gladys sees Alex and tells him, "Pack up your stuff. We're leaving tomorrow."
He's like, "I
She
just
heads
bought all these groceries."
right.
Right.
He's like, "God, he cannot catch a break, this poor
And
kid."
by the way, if my kid had to feed me at that age, I'd be eating nothing but, like, ramen and Nutella, but it's fine.
If that's yeah, I mean, that's what Alex did. He's like, "Listen, it's not gonna be
If it
gourmet
keep you
meals. This
alive,
is what
yeah,
we're
get the
doing."
soup.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh,
So Gladys heads back into her little office, and outside of it, in the hallway, she has placed a salt line. And on the other side of the salt line are his parents standing sentry at her door. She tells Alex, "Do not step over the salt line," and then she goes back into her room. Early the next morning, Alex looks out his window and he sees a truck parked across the street. And in the truck, watching the house, are Archer and Justine. The front door opens, and Paul steps outside, and he stands there looking at Justine and Archer. He stands there for like 30 seconds, and then he turns around and goes back inside, but he leaves the front door open. So, what did Archer and Justine do? They think that this means come on in.
mm-mm.
So
Right.
they go on in. They walk in, and Justine sees Paul from across the room, and he silently waves her towards him. And as she goes, she's walking towards Paul, and she does not see that there is another salt line downstairs that Gladys has placed in the living room. Archer notices it, but it's a second too late, and she steps on it, and Paul and James attack both of them.
Oh, damn.
Mhm.
Alex is upstairs, and he hears the chaos downstairs, but he's not really fazed by it. He lets all that play out while he slowly walks towards the salt line that his parents are standing behind just outside of Gladys's room. So while Archer and Justine are downstairs fighting for their lives against two people, again with this crackhead like resilience, and they're in the chokehold of a spell, Alex carefully steps over the line, which activates his parents to come after him. The fight downstairs with Justine and Archer is almost comical because no matter what they do to Paul and James, they just keep bouncing back. It's like they'll throw them and they think they've knocked them out, and then boom, they come back up, and this goes on over and
Oh,
over.
my.
And let
Mhm.
me just
Yeah.
say this part here and from this point on, it is one of the most insane, chaotic,
Yes.
incredible sequences of film that I have seen in a really, really long time. Like,
Really?
it is
Yes.
worth it to see it visually.
Just this,
Yeah, and I'm sure Kelly's gonna talk
end.
more about it, but
Yeah.
yeah, this
I'm
starts
describing it
this
the
yeah,
best I can, but
sorry.
it's like
Okay.
no, Kristen's right. It's so chaotic. You'll gasp, you'll laugh, you'll scream all during this
Yeah,
whole thing.
yeah,
Oh, I
all
love
of
Yeah.
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, Alex very carefully and deliberately puts one foot over that salt line and then sends his parents after him and out for blood. He runs back into his room and shuts the door. His parents break through that door, and then he runs into his bathroom and they tear that door up too. But Alex is smart, and this is a Jack and Jill bathroom, so he's able to maneuver around
Oh.
them, run back down the hallway and into Gladys's room before they can catch
I
him.
always wished that I had one of those in my house.
You like a Jack and
Yeah,
Jill
they're
Me
bathroom?
so cute.
too.
They are cute.
I
Yeah.
agree.
For little kids, I think it's such a cute little thing. I like
Yeah.
yeah. Back downstairs, Justine is able to get Paul's gun off of him, and she shoots him in the head and kills him. And that's the only way that she can finally get him to stop choking her. Once he's down, she does the same thing to James, who is on top of Archer trying to kill him as well. Archer gets up and heads downstairs to the basement where he finds all of the children standing completely still and unresponsive. Using his iPhone flashlight, Archer searches through the kids one by one looking for his son. And as he reaches one corner of the basement, Gladys pops up from the shadows
Oh, God, not
Mm-mm.
again.
and attacks him. And Gladys now has Archer. So now she has mind control over Archer, and she sends him upstairs to attack Justine and follows behind him, waiting and watching for him to choke her to death. Back upstairs now, Alex has made it into Gladys's office, and he grabs the latest magic stick of thorns that she has been using. He grabs Gladys's wig and then dodges his parents yet again to run off into their room and their bathroom. Having seen Gladys do these spells several times now, Alex pricks his finger with the thorn, covers the stick in his blood, grabs some pieces of Gladys's real hair from inside the cap of the wig,
One of her
and
little
wraps it
braids.
around the stick. Well, just some little. Yeah, I think you just need a couple strands.
Okay.
So, yeah, he wraps it around the stick and then snap. And the moment he snaps that stick, it cuts to Gladys in the kitchen with Justine and Archer, and you just see on Gladys's face her soul leaves her body. And the only word she can utter is, "Oh no."
Yeah.
And even though Archer still has Justine in the chokehold. That's not Gladys's concern anymore because, baby, like a herd of stampeding buffalo, those kids come running up the basement steps, down the hall, and
Okay.
straight towards the kitchen, and they are coming after Gladys's ass.
All
Uh-oh.
right.
Gladys bolts out the front door as fast as her old ass should have been dead a while ago legs can carry her. The kids are screaming and coming out of the house by any means necessary. Some go through the door, some go through the windows. They just dive
Oh
out
my
of the
gosh,
house.
like roaches
They're
coming out of
running,
like
Yes.
yeah.
ugh.
And this, may I say, going
Mhm.
back to Kelly's coverage of that movie, was it Mads? Is that the name of
Yeah.
it?
Mhm.
And our talk about the single camera, like this is a single camera scene that ends up happening here where
Okay.
it's like one camera is following this thing
Mhm.
and it is again, it's just incredible. Like the last half hour of this movie is just so cool to watch. So
So
I
cool.
think you guys should still
That's
It's
watch
the
the
awesome,
best.
movie.
yeah.
Even if you
Oh
can,
yeah, I'm
even
gonna
if you
watch
can't
it.
do watch the whole movie because it's
Okay.
great. But
Yeah,
even if you
it
just
is.
have to watch this ending, it's
Yeah.
amazing. So, like I said,
Yeah.
they're flying out of the house however they need to get to her. And what follows is a hilarious chase scene of this old lady with almost no hair left in this bathrobe being seen by whoever is up early in the morning, running through the neighborhood
At the
with
very
a
least, by
pack.
their Ring cameras.
Yeah, or their Ring cameras,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, for sure.
With a
Yeah.
pack of wild third graders about 20 seconds behind her. So she runs through people's
Screaming,
homes and they're
running. It's
yeah, it's hilarious.
crazy.
She runs through people's
Mm.
homes, through their yards. And by the way, there are far too many unlocked doors in this neighborhood because she's just opening doors and running through
Right?
people's houses. Yeah, and the kids are flying right through their windows right behind
Oh
them.
my, that's
So
crazy.
All
now,
with this single camera shot, which is
yeah.
just so cool.
So now there is one girl in the class who is clearly a future track star. I mean, you just know on field day
Pink.
she whoops everyone's
It's the
ass.
girl in pink, right?
Yes, she was fantastic.
Yes.
She
Okay.
comes out from behind. She sprints so far ahead of the pack that you start cheering for her like she's about to win a gold medal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She busts through a screen door on someone's porch and then a glass door and finally gets to
Mm-hmm.
Gladys and tackles her to the ground. She holds her down while the rest of the kids catch up with them, and the entire group of kids swarm Gladys and literally rip her body apart limb from limb, and it's grotesque.
Ew,
They
really?
tear her
Yeah,
up.
I mean it
Yes.
is.
Yes.
You went from laughing and like to now you're horrified. And that's what I
Ugh.
love about the roller coaster of
Right.
emotions you're
So
brought
great.
through.
That's
Mm-hmm.
But I was still
crazy.
laughing. I was like, "This is ridiculous. This is a mess." But I was loving every
I mean,
second
she
of it.
did deserve it.
Same.
She deserved it.
She
Yeah.
did.
Mhm.
Yeah, she deserved it.
So once Gladys has been killed by all the children, the other spells break. Archer releases Justine in time so she doesn't die. Alex's parents go back to their silent, comatose-like state, and Archer immediately starts to look for his son. So we now see Archer as he follows this path of destruction left by the children through the neighborhood until he finds them all outside, standing in some poor soul's yard who's going to have a hell of a time trying to explain this to his insurance company.
Right.
I mean, it's just a mess.
Imagine cleaning that up. Ugh.
I know. I was like, I'm sure he came out. I was like, how do I even explain this to people? They've torn up his house. They're in my yard. So now they're just standing there, just staring straight ahead, surrounding the bloody mess on the ground. That's all that remains of Gladys.
Ugh.
And it seems as though, I don't know if you thought this, Kristen, but it seems as though some of the kids might have eaten her a little bit too. It
What?
really does.
Maybe they were like
I
biting,
mean,
you know?
They were definitely biting.
they were just,
They were definitely biting,
yeah,
but
they were getting at her no matter what.
That's
something
gross.
got ingested. Yeah. Archer finds Matthew, finds a son, and he hugs him, and he picks him up and carries him home. Justine finds Alex upstairs hugging both of his parents, even though they are still unresponsive. And now the voiceover of the kid from the beginning is back, and she tells us, Alex's parents are still being fed soup somewhere, but not by him. He moved to another town and lives with a different aunt, but this one is a nice lady. All of the kids from his class got reunited with their parents, and some of them even started talking again this year. And that's the end.
What?
Wow.
Well, why didn't the spell break for his parents?
They were in too deep. They were just, she had taken so much of their life force to get her that far.
Yeah, that's how she was getting younger.
Right.
She was
Right.
stealing
And
from
then,
them,
so
and they
they
were the
were, like,
ones
gone.
giving.
Yeah.
They were
Mhm,
depleted,
mhm.
which is why he had to go to the kids. Because she was
Oh.
Yeah.
going through them first. She
Yeah.
ran out of their stuff. And so she's
Okay.
like, hey, you need
She
to help me
needed
out and get
more.
these kids.
Well,
So that's why they couldn't come back.
I wondered why she was like having them kill other people instead of just putting them also under the spell and using their life. You know? Like what was the purpose of
I
like
think
having
sometimes it was
the principal
like for
kill
the
his
principal and the husband.
Yeah, like just
I
take
think
his life
sometimes
too.
she was just pissed at him or something. I think
Mm.
sometimes she's just mad.
Or just yeah.
She was petty.
She was petty,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
They wouldn't let her be Alex's representative for the family. They insisted he kept seeing her dad. She's
She
like,
was
"Okay, fine."
pissed,
She was
so
pissed at that.
"Okay, I'll
Yeah,
show you."
That's true,
yeah.
that's true. Oh, wow. This
And
movie
then
did
you
not go the way I
uh-uh.
expected it to
No,
whatsoever.
that was crazy.
That was so
Same.
crazy.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Did you
I loved it so much. It was
Love
so
it.
good. It really was so
did you
good.
feel satisfied by the end, though? It feels a
Yeah.
little abrupt.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Because I
Eh,
don't think I
I was
need to
okay with it.
know not seeing the kids come back. I don't need to see
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Yeah. The final sequence was perfect, and I
Right.
like how they bookended it with the little narrator girl because she told us in the beginning that the police bumbled everything, and that's why it was covered up.
Mhm,
So when we asked all those questions about why didn't the police do this and why, well, we were told at the beginning they fucked up, they were shitty,
mhm.
and
Mhm.
that's why this all got covered up and nobody talked about it. So so
Yeah.
good. It
Crazy.
was just such a good movie.
Although nowadays,
Loved
you
it.
know that the parents would be on TikTok making TikTok videos saying, "My kid went missing and the cops are not doing a damn thing about it." And all of a
For
sudden it'd be a
sure.
Mhm.
For
nationwide
sure.
story, but
Yeah.
that's crazy though. To be
It really
quite
is.
honest with you, this movie, when I saw the trailer originally, I was like, I wonder what that's about. But then the hype got to be so much, it just, I don't know, something about it turned me off. And Julia Garner, is it?
Mhm.
Mhm.
There's something about her that I don't I don't know.
I
I've
love
never really
her.
watched
Someone else could have
anything with
played
her in
that
it.
role, but
People love her. There's
yeah.
something
I
about her
love
face
her.
I don't like, and that sounds
But
silly, but
I'm an
That's
Ozarks
okay.
fan, and I
Uh-huh.
love her.
Oh,
See,
okay.
I'm
So,
not an Ozarks fan, and you
yeah.
know why, but
I know.
whatever.
I know why.
Jason
Yeah.
If
Bateman,
you could watch it
ew.
and just get to her
Sorry.
scene, she's fabulous on that
And see,
show.
and
Yeah.
she's probably great.
I mean, I might like her then.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
that I've, like, actually even seen her act in anything, but there's just something about her. I don't know, it's her hair or something. She looks like Justin Timberlake from, like, the early 2000s. And
I could see that.
I'm
She has
like,
that perm.
She did give
there's something about it.
uh,
So I'm like,
the pixie cut you don't like?
It's the permed
maybe,
hair. It's the super
yeah, the
curly
curly
hair.
blonde, something about
I
it. I
don't
don't
think
like
she
it.
permed it though. I think that's
I
just
think
Yeah,
it's
I
her
her
think it's just
natural.
her hair.
people.
Yeah.
But no, it's just, you
Yeah.
know how it is. Like with some actors, it's just, I don't care for this person, but there's no
Mhm.
real reason.
I
That's
have
her
Yeah.
that.
for
Yeah.
me.
Oh, Jason Bateman.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Mhm.
So,
Mine's Keanu
Mhm.
Reeves, and don't ask why.
really?
Really?
It
I have
makes
no
no
idea
sense.
Oh,
why.
that's
Even
I
in
shocking,
have no
s-
reason.
Allison.
I
even in
just there's
Speed?
something about him.
Oh, I love Keanu
There's
Listen,
Reeves.
he's a
the
man. If
only
something comes
movie I
out, I
really
wouldn't be
liked him in was
surprised.
the only movie I really liked him in was Hardball with the
He's
kids.
not
Oh.
a good actor, but I think
But
he's a
something
good
about him.
person.
That's
Mhm.
what, yeah. And
Yeah.
I don't know if it's maybe he's just overly good. I'm like, something's off, something there.
I got
There's
you.
something.
That
No.
makes
Yeah,
sense.
There's
don't
something
trust
about
him.
him. I just
Okay.
and everyone always laughs. She's like, Keanu Reeves is probably one of the best people in the world. I was like, I understand that. I understand he does really
What if
good
he ends
things
up a
for
serial
people,
killer and Allison was
but
right all along?
Right?
but there's
No,
something about him that I just don't
that would
trust.
be
Yeah,
great.
see? Well,
Okay.
anyway, we just after all the hype, it was kind of one of those things where I was just like, I don't know if I care to see this movie. Like, it just seemed there was something about it. I like couldn't figure it out. It
Mhm.
was nothing really about the plot or that I saw in the trailer that like intrigued me that much. I was like, I'll just hear what happens later, no big deal. But now that you've explained it to me, how it all
Mhm.
goes down, I feel like I need to see it.
You do. It's so
I think you
I'm
would
wild.
gonna
enjoy
watch
it because you know how you do the fast forward thing?
Mhm.
This takes care of that loss of attention span because it keeps going to a different
Mhm.
perspective and a different
Mhm.
story like every
Mhm.
20 minutes. So just when you're maybe starting to lose interest in what maybe, I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't, you're
Mhm.
given some new perspective. And so I think you would really like that part of it
Yeah.
because it's not just, it's like an intertwined
That's
story,
a good
sort of,
point.
but so good.
Mhm.
That last 20 minutes of the movie honestly makes the other 140 or 1 hour and 40 worth it.
Mm.
So,
Mhm.
just so
And I
good.
did like
So
Barbarian,
good.
so if it's kind of in the same vein,
It is.
Mhm.
vibe-wise,
Yeah.
I think I'll like it.
Can't be like that with the twist,
Mhm.
humorous, but also horrifying, like,
Yeah.
really good.
And just a wild ending. Like Barbarian had a wild ending.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Wow, I still
But
wanna know
It
what
did.
the gun was about. That's
that's
weird.
the thing. I
The
don't
time I think it
know.
was about the time
It was
because
about the
later on we
time.
see the time that she starts all the shit,
Mhm.
like, it was 2 something, I
Maybe
don't
Yeah,
know,
just
we
a
know
whatever.
they
reference to the title, you know?
I guess
The
yeah, that
yeah,
must be it because we've
yeah,
known since the girl told us 2:17 at the beginning. We
Mhm,
see the 2:17 on
yeah,
the gun clock,
mhm.
and then we know she
mhm.
starts her spell at 2:15, rings the bell at 2:17, all that happens.
Weird.
But it was just maybe that's what it was, the
I think it's a
title, because it's just
connection of
like,
all the
why an
stories.
assault
Yeah.
rifle
Yeah,
telling the
because
time?
like,
Because there's
she
no guns
Yeah.
she
used.
is using the people as her weapons, so, I mean,
Right,
that
so I
part
guess that's
does make
it.
Mhm.
sense, but
Like she
Didn't
pulled
the
the
gun
trigger at
belong to the Josh
2:17.
mm,
Brolin?
Yeah.
character? Did it belong to him?
Did we ever see him with a gun? If we did, I missed it.
No. But yeah, I'm not saying we did, but if it belonged to him, I think it was just part of us trying to look at him like he was some kind of a violent There was, I think
To throw you
in the
off.
beginning they're trying to throw
Okay.
you off in a few different ways, and so
Mhm.
maybe it was just because he was really big and like macho and like
Mhm.
he had the truck and all,
Yeah.
So I don't know if they were just trying to like add to his character by using the gun. I don't know, but
I don't
either
know.
way,
It was just like a
it's
image of
interesting you noticed it.
a giant gun in the sky, so I don't know who it could have belonged to. It was just a gun in the sky. I don't know.
Weird.
Was it his dream though?
It was his dream. Yeah, his dream, and
Yeah.
then it was a
Okay.
big gun over his house in the sky, and with the time
I'll have
in
to go
it.
look at that
Mm.
again then.
I
But
mean,
Okay.
dreams
I
don't
think
make
maybe it's
I
sense,
don't
just
remember it
so
as much.
Right.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, either way.
Now I'm gonna be scared of little old ladies with red hair and crazy makeup.
Well,
She
you
was
needed to
kinda
be in the
fabulous.
first place. That's
You're
the
right,
main
Allison.
thing.
What'd she say? You needed to
Leah,
be?
do
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Would
you remember that Broad City episode where they go to
Yes,
Florida
that is
to
exactly
Lakeland?
what I was thinking of when
Okay,
you guys were
that
describing this
yes.
woman.
Her outfit is literally one of those
Yeah.
outfits. So that's the
I'm pretty
outfit.
sure
Yeah.
isn't there a part where an old lady walks past them and she just, like, has a gun? I think so.
Possibly. I need to
Yeah.
rewatch that
If you guys
episode. And
haven't
so
watched
yeah.
that, there's an episode of Broad City where, Abby and Alana go to Florida because like, Alana's
Her parents retired
yeah,
there.
or her
Yeah.
grandma's moving out or
And they're in
something.
Lakeland.
Are they?
Oh, with Lakeland?
Yes, they were in Lakeland. That was the craziest part about it.
I mean, there's one part where they definitely look like they
Did
have
I make that
public
up? Are they
subs.
not in
I don't
Lakeland?
think so. I think it's in it's some in, like, ritzy
There was a
part.
show where they ended up in Lakeland. Wait a
Maybe.
second. I'm gonna go back and look because I swear to God.
Well, either way, it's very
Anyway,
funny, and
never
there's
mind.
lots of
Off
Florida,
topic. You
like,
can just
tropes in
edit all
there.
this out, Kelly.
And their
Hmm.
hair gets super frizzy because they're in the humidity. It's very
Yeah.
funny.
But yeah, I think you guys should watch it. We told you where all the jump scares are.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'll look
Yeah.
away
So
at those parts. Well,
mhm.
maybe not the
You
Yeah.
know,
jump
when the
scares.
And
I
when they
kinda
get
wanna
to
see those, but the violent parts I don't
when they
really
pick up the
wanna
forks,
Yeah.
when the parents pick those forks up, just turn your
Yeah.
head until
Mhm.
you stop hearing the like noise
That's rough to
because
watch because it goes on for a little
Oh
second.
my
Oh,
gosh, I don't
mm-hmm.
like
Longer
that.
than it needs to.
Yes, much longer
Mm-mm.
than it needs to, yeah.
Ugh,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
that's wild.
Yeah. Well, enjoy
Yeah, thanks
if
for
you watch
listening.
it.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was really great the way you explained all
Mhm.
that and told that story.
You
That
did a
was
great job with that one, Kelly.
Thank you. That
We
was a
may
fun
want
one
to
to
watch it
retell.
again. Mm-hmm.
He has a thing for basements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Tropes. There's definitely some tropes that he uses,
Mhm.
and I like that. I'm excited to see more films from the
I
same
wonder
guy
if
because
Justin
too.
Long's gonna pop up in every one of his films
I
now.
hope so.
I
Like a
hope
little,
so.
More
I
often.
hope
yeah, a little
that's
Yeah.
just the,
cameo in every movie.
that's his thing,
Yeah.
like, what was it? Like Bruce Campbell with, what's his name? The guy Sam Raimi
Oh,
would
yeah,
always use
yeah.
Bruce Campbell and stuff,
Or
so
Oh.
like how
maybe that'll be
Stan
like
Lee
Mm.
pops up in all the Marvel films somewhere.
Yeah.
That'd be
Mhm.
cool.
Like that. I hope that's his
Nice.
thing. Well, alright. Well,
Alright.
that was Weapons. We'll be back again next week. I think next week it might just be Leah and I
Mm.
that you're hearing from, but we will
Yeah,
have
maybe.
an episode for you, and I think it might be another Black Mirror episode. And then after that, we are going to do Them season 2 because we are starting to work on that one.
Ooh, I'm
And
excited for that.
peppered in there will be some of our bonus episodes for you guys to listen to for what we're planning for our Patreon coming soon. So yeah, that's what
Cool.
to expect.
Yay.
Oh. And when is From coming out? Have they even announced the
I have
next
not
season
heard
yet?
the next
Because
season
it's
yet.
been a year.
Yeah.
I know they're filming, but I need to know
Mhm.
when it's dropping, please.
I
But
know.
okay.
We'll keep an eye on that.
Anyway, all right. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
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 For more information about our episodes, follow us on Instagram at Fear and Wine Pod. And if you have a fun discussion question that you'd like for us to answer on the podcast, send it to us at fearandwinepod@gmail.com.